Can you please state your name and I guess age?
My name is Margaret Calderon, De Jesus Calderon, and I am 65 years old. Watch TV, and after a few days of that, he would ask the question, well, did you see any Filipinos? Even now there are hardly any Filipinos. I said, no. I said, okay. Did you see any Asians? I said, no. I said, okay. We were one of the first, because Livermore was mostly white in those days. So there were a handful of Asians. There was nobody that was of color to look at you. And depending on which accent it is, they think you're not as smart. It's hard life. And that was one of the things that Papa worked for the U.S. Embassy. And he was smart to apply for immigrant status here.
So right now we're in a terminal and we're basically just waiting for our names to be called. Not unlike what my aunt had to go through for immigration processing. But instead of being called up for immigration, we're being called up to board the plane so that we can immigrate. And I'll be vlogging the second half of when we get into our new country when I get there. So we just arrived in Cancun, and there's a huge line for immigrations and customs. So this is not unlike what my aunt had to go through when she arrived in America. So we, at this point in time, we found ourselves stranded in the Aryan Sea, and we're just waiting to get permission to enter the country of Mexico. First interviewed my aunt. There were not that many things I found interesting, but when I re-listened to the interview, I found many interesting snippets that can be applied to everyday life and everyday problems that people face in America. One of them is the topic of immigration. And through her story, I was able to understand a little bit of what it's like growing up as an immigrant. And this documentary seeks to enlighten both myself and others of the process that it takes to immigrate to the U.S. And the things we talked about in the beginning of the documentary were just things that my aunt found challenging when she was growing up as an immigrant in the United States. And so while I'll never be able to fully experience that feeling, I hope that this documentary at least covered a bit of what it's like.